LDPE is low density polythene and HDPE is high density polythene. Novolac on heating with formaldehyde again undergoes extensive cross-linking to give an infusible solid mass called as bakelite. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 2 on the chapter polymers. Last class we studied about monomers, also we studied what is polymerization and the classification of polymers, that is based on source, based on mode of polymerization, based on structure and based on molecular forces, isn't it? Today we learn about different types of polymers and how it is prepared. Okay, so first one is type of polymerization reactions. So there are two types of polymerization reaction. First one is addition polymerization or chain growth polymerization, we call it as. Second is condensation polymerization or step growth polymerization. So we'll go into the details of first type, that is addition polymerization or chain growth polymerization. Under that, a free radical mechanism is which we are learning. And for this, we'll take an example of formation of polythene using benzoyl peroxide as a catalyst or an initiator. Okay. So, polymerization of ethene to polythene consists of heating or exposed to light a mixture of ethene with a small amount of benzoyl peroxide as an initiator is added. And this reaction happens in 3 steps. So, the first step is chain initiating or chain initiation step. In this step, we have benzoyl peroxide which is added as an initiator which will form phenyl radical by homolytic fission. Now, what is the meaning of homolytic fission? You can see between the two oxygen atom there is one single bond. Both the oxygen atom have given one electron each to form that bond. Now, if I break this bond, they will get back their original electron which was involved in bonding to form one type of radical. Further, this will lose CO2 and carbon will have the electron, and this is called as phenyl radical. C6H5 radical is called as the phenyl radical. This phenyl radical will add on to ethene molecule CH2 to break one bond. So, this electron will go to this carbon atom and the other electron will be used for bonding with C6H5. So, you get a new type of radical. Now, in step 2, chain propagating or chain propagation will take place where the radical which is formed in the first step is getting added to one more ethene molecule. Okay. So, what happens again, this bond is broken, the electron is utilized to form a bond and this carbon will not have any bonding. So, it will get a free electron to form a larger, bigger sized free radical. So, like this, continuously this will add to one more CH2 molecule, one more CH2 molecule, and you will get a bigger and bigger and bigger free radical. You can see CH2 2 times, n number of times it can go on adding to form a large free radical. Now, how do we stop this test? This can go on and on for a long time. So, to terminate is the third step, chain termination step. Here, two large big sized free radical will come and combine with one another. You have one CH2 with a free electron, one more CH2 with a free electron, and these two will form a bond with one another to form polyethene, a large molecule, and the chain can be terminated. Okay. So, this is how the addition polymerization takes place. That's why we also call it as chain growth polymerization, because there is a growth of chain which is continuously happening, isn't it? That's the reason it's also called as chain growth polymerization. Okay. So, we'll see some of the examples for addition polymers. First one is polythene. Okay. Under polythene, we have two types, LDPE, LDPE is low density polythene and HDPE is high density polythene. Now the condition to prepare low density polythene and high density polythene are completely different. You can see it is obtained by polymerization of ethene at high pressure of 1000 to 2000 atmospheres and a temperature of 350 to 570 Kelvin in the presence of dioxygen or peroxide initiator as a catalyst. Okay. Further, low density polythene is prepared by free radical addition and hydrogen atom abstraction is highly branched structure you will get, and low density polythene is chemically inert, tough but flexible and poor conductor of electricity. Now what you need to know basically, if you remember this equation, that's sufficient. CH2 double bond CH2 ethene, you'll get CH2 single bond CH2. Remember to put the bracket and write n number of times, and the conditions required, just learn it or write it in above or below the arrow mark. Dioxygen or tertiary butyl peroxide as a catalyst, 350 to 570 Kelvin and 1000 to 2000 bar or atmospheric pressure. Okay, and it is a homopolymer. Fine. So this is about low density polythene. Next is high density polythene. Before I go into high density polythene, uses of low density polythene, it is used in electrical wires, insulation, manufacture of squeeze bottle, toys, flexible pipes, etc. The plastic which is flexible which we are using, they are usually low density polythene. Next is high density polythene. It's the same reaction, you can see CH2 double bond CH2 giving CH2 single bond CH2 n number of times. It's a homopolymer. But see the condition for high density polythene, we require free radical homo addition polymerization. It takes place in the presence of Ziegler-Natta catalyst, 333 Kelvin to 343 Kelvin, a little lower temperature than low density polythene, and of course the pressure is really low, that is 6 to 7 bar pressure compared to 1000 to 2000 atmosphere or bar pressure in low density polythene. Now what is Ziegler-Natta catalyst which is there? It is triethyl aluminum or titanium tetrachloride. I shall write the formula: titanium tetrachloride plus triethyl, that is C2H5 3 times. Okay, this is triethyl aluminum plus titanium tetrachloride, which is called as Ziegler-Natta catalyst, which is used in preparation of HDPE, and this is a very important question, especially a 1 marker. Okay, so that's about the high density polythene. The uses of high density polythene is manufacture of buckets, dustbins, bottle, pipes, etc. Okay, next one is polytetrafluoroethene or Teflon. Sounds familiar, isn't it? Have you all heard the Teflon coating on non-stick pans? Yes, in some of the advertisements. It is nothing but a polymer, polytetrafluoroethene. Okay, so we are taking CF2 double bond CF2 tetrafluoroethene catalyst, which is the catalyst persulfate catalyst at a high pressure. Okay, the double bond is broken and they can link with one another to form Teflon. So CF2 single bond CF2 show the linking on both the sides n number of times. This is Teflon. It is chemically inert, resistant to attack with corrosive reagent. Also it is used in making oil seals, gaskets, also used for non-stick surface coating in utensils. Okay, that's about Teflon. Next is polyacrylonitrile. Okay, or Orlon we call it as, or acrylan is the other word. So what is this? It's an addition polymer of acrylonitrile, CH2CHCN. Okay, where the double bond is broken, you can see CH2CH. Both the sides you have to show the linkage. CN is not bonded. Please remember, CN remains as it is. Okay, cyano group remains as it is. So it's polyacrylonitrile. For this we require a catalyst called as peroxide catalyst. Okay, the other name is Orlon or acrylan. It is the artificial wool which we are using in clothing. Okay, so that's about polyacrylonitrile. Next is about the condensation polymerization. In condensation polymerization, it's also called as step growth polymerization. During condensation polymerization, the monomers which are used are usually having functional groups, bifunctional groups, and also there is elimination of small molecules like water, alcohol, etc. It is called as step growth polymerization because in every step we will get a different type of functional group, and thus it is called as a step growth polymerization. Example is formation of pteryline or dacron by interaction of ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid. So what is ethylene glycol? It is CH2, CH2, OH and OH. This is ethylene glycol. Terephthalic acid is C double bond O OH and C double bond O OH. Now, when these two react, there is a removal of water molecule. You can see H2O molecule is removed. Similarly, from here also H can be removed and from here OH is removed to give the product O, CH2, CH2, O, C double bond O, C double bond O, n number of times, and this is called as dacron. Okay, so here you can see there's a removal of small molecules, two functional groups, COH group and OH group, which is reacting, and if you see the mechanism, it is step growth polymerization which will occur. Okay, polymerization, that is condensation polymerization mechanism, is not there in your syllabus. So we'll have to learn some of the examples for condensation polymerization. First one is polyamide. So polyamide, the name itself you will understand, it has got an amide linkage and many amide linkages are present. That's why it's called as a polyamide. Example of polyamide is nylon 6,6 and nylon 6. So first we learn the preparation of nylons. Under that, first one is nylon 6,6. In preparation of polyamines like nylon 6,6, we have two monomers, one with diamine group and the other one with dicarboxylic acid group. You can see we have hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid as the monomers. What is happening? The OH group of COH group and H of amine will go out as water molecule to form CONH bond. You can see here CONH bond, which is nothing but an amide linkage. Further, you can show here NH and CO, and this is the preparation of nylon 6,6, and it requires high pressure and high temperature as well. Next one which we have is nylon 6. It is obtained by a single monomer, okay, that is caprolactam. You can see CH2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 CH2 groups are there, and NHCO bond is already present and it's a ring structure it has got, correct? When it is heated with water at a high temperature of 533 to 543 Kelvin, this bond will be broken and several monomers can link with one another. Further, you can see one more C double bond O group, CH2, 5 number of carbon atoms and NH bond. So like this it can go on continue to give a CONH bond, that is an amide linkage to form nylon 6. Okay. Here also if you see the number of carbon atoms, it is 1 plus 5, 6. That's why the name nylon 6. What are the uses of nylon 6? It is used in tire cords, fabrics, ropes, etc. And what is the monomer? Caprolactam. Okay. Next we have polyesters. Under polyesters, we have one example, that is dacron or pteryline. I have already explained once, but I shall do it again. it has got an ester linkage. The reaction is between dicarboxylic acids and the diols. Okay, we have ethylene glycol, CH2CH2OH groups, and terephthalic acid, that is the benzene ring with COOH group in the opposite positions. Correct? So here what is happening? H2O molecule is removed. From here also hydrogen has to be removed. From here OH group has to be removed to form an dacron molecule. So you have CH2O, CH2O, C double bond O, benzene ring, C double bond O, continuation n number of times to give pteryline or dacron. Okay, what are its uses? This is the one which is crease resistant. Okay, and it is used in blending with cotton and wool fibers, and it's also used in glass reinforcing materials in safety helmets. So these are the uses of dacron or pteryline. Okay, next we have is phenol formaldehyde polymer or bakelite and related polymers. Phenol formaldehyde resins are those obtained by heating phenol with formaldehyde in the presence of an acid or a base as a catalyst. Initially, we get different types of products like ortho and or para hydroxy methyl phenol. You can see here phenol OH group, you get the CH2OH group in ortho position or in ortho and para position, or it can be in both the ortho as well as the para position. So different types of products is possible when you're heating phenol with formaldehyde, okay, in the presence of an acid or a base. Further, this reacts with more number of phenol molecules, or they react with one another in the presence of acid to give a long chain, a single linear chain structure called as novolac, which is used in paints. So these are the linear structure. You can see every benzene ring has got an OH group, and in between it has got the methylene group, that is the CH2 group is there. Such linear product is called as the novolac, which is used in paints. Next, this novolac on heating with formaldehyde again undergoes extensive cross-linking to give an infusible solid mass called as bakelite, and this is the structure of bakelite. You can see CH2 alternatingly it is present and OH is present on the benzene ring. Now this structure for your exam is not important, they have never asked this. Okay, so it's a huge structure which you need to just know what is phenol formaldehyde resin and what is its monomer, as well as what is novolac you need to know. Okay, from the exam point of view. If you see the uses of bakelite, it is used in making combs, electrical switches, handles of various utensils, etc. So this is the use of bakelite. Next is melamine formaldehyde polymer. So in this polymer, have you all heard about fiber or melamine utensils? It's nothing but melamine formaldehyde polymer. Okay, you take melamine here with formaldehyde. So this is the structure of melamine. You have alternate nitrogen and the double bond with 3 NH2 groups. This is the structure of melamine. Okay, melamine with formaldehyde, it will form a resin intermediate. You can see CH2OH group is added. Further, it will react with one another to form melamine polymer. This is the structure of melamine polymer. It has got extensive cross linking. Thus, it is used in manufacture of unbreakable crockeries. Okay, so that's about melamine formaldehyde resin. In the next session, we shall study about copolymerization, natural rubber, synthetic rubber and biodegradable polymers. So I hope you have understood today's class. Thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.